Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. Now, the content that I'm going to show you this morning is around the tragedy in California, and would you believe that there's been a new narrative, a new coined phrase introduced? High-capacity assault pistol? Interesting. Who would have seen this coming? I know we would have, and we're going to break it down right now. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this little shenanigan that's being introduced. And if you are a new or returning viewer, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and turn that notification bell on. We need as many people as we can to get in the fold, to pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation. We can do it. It's not a question of if, it's a question of how and when we win this fight. And that's what we're going to do on this channel right now, starting with this new narrative, which we're going to break down. All right, so let's get into this. I'm going to show you two different things from two different sources at the exact same time. One here in the United States in the New York Times overnight newsletter, and one from The Guardian. Interesting how this works. Check this out. Good morning. Once again, America is confronting the aftermath of a gun massacre. This is from the New York Times by German Lopez, or it could be Herman Lopez. I don't know what it's going to be, but it doesn't matter. Let's get into what they're saying. This is incredibly important because keep in mind, every time they brand something, there is complete unanimity in the adoption of a term like this one. The gunman used, quote, a magazine-fed, semi-automatic assault pistol. That is probably not legal in California, Luna said. His motives remain under investigation. Now, Luna is the police chief who was doing all the press conferences. But the New York Times certainly picked this up. Now, keep in mind, prior to this, you've got assault weapons, assault rifles, all the termed phrases and branded phrases that the gun control groups use to instill fear that is not a real term. Well, now let's add a magazine-fed semi-automatic assault pistol to the pile. Now, before we go any further, I do want to say these tragedies are terrible. They should absolutely stop. We have a problem with the heart and the mind in this country. We do not have a problem with freedom. However, that's not what we're talking about right now. We're going to talk about the terms and the narrative that they're trying to put forward. The big thing here is this happened in California. They have magazine bans. They have assault weapons bans. They have all the gun control you can imagine. And yet these things still happen. Again, going back to the part where you have a problem of the heart and the mind in the country, not what's in your hand. But I've hit that multiple times. Let me show you another example from the same email. A 26-year-old coder wrested an assault pistol from the gunman's hands. What is an assault pistol? That doesn't exist. Just like they never did assault rifles until they wanted to start banning them, and they branded them a specific thing, a big, scary black rifle. Well, in California, they got rid of the big, scary black rifle, and so now it's the assault pistol. It does not take a genius to look at history, to look at all the things that governments who have taken care of guns in the past, they always do it. They always brand it as unsafe. They always say they'll take care of safety. They take the firearms, and they continue to do so until all the threats are gone to their power. That has happened numerous times with 100 million dead over the 20th century alone. I'm not suggesting that's going to happen. I'm not saying that that is the destiny of this country. But what I'm saying is this exact same methodology has been used time and time again, and now it's moving into assault pistols. Keep in mind, up until about a year ago, 2 years ago, pistols were common sense. They had a Second Amendment. Everyone had one. Well, now they're assault pistols. This happens every single time. But let's continue. Here's some other stuff they hit in that same article. The data exposes a clear trend. Where there are more guns, there are more gun deaths. Studies have found this to be true at the state and national level, and for homicides, suicides, mass shootings, and police shootings. Stricter regulations on firearms are linked to fewer gun deaths. But efforts to reduce access to firearms have mostly stalled in the U.S., unable to overcome the Supreme Court's interpretations of the Second Amendment. No, just the Second Amendment. The problem is with gun controllers who have basically said they want to get rid of the Second Amendment and curtail it and infringe upon it as the new normal. They are the ones infringing upon the Second Amendment, but they frame it as the Supreme Court's interpretation. Okay, let's keep going. Mixed public opinion, which means a majority of the country doesn't want more gun control, stated in multiple things on this channel, and a closely divided federal government. Again, representative of the fact that the people do not want more gun control because it does not work. Anyway, now I'm going to jump across the pond. I'm going to show you The Guardian, and you're going to find an interesting theme. Monterey Park shooting, what we know so far. At least 10 were killed at a Los Angeles area dance hall, with the motive for the attack still unclear. Now, of course, Los Angeles and California are extreme gun control zones. Anyway, let's keep going. Check this part out. The weapon. 2 weapons have been identified so far, including a handgun with a high-capacity magazine, illegal in California. The weapon recovered from the Alhambra location where the shooter was disarmed was described as a magazine-fed, semi-automatic assault pistol with a high-capacity magazine attached, Luna said. He said it initially appeared that the weapon would be illegal under California law, which flies in the face of all gun control. If someone is going to be a criminal, criminals wouldn't exist if laws completely discouraged it. Everyone knows this. It does not take a genius to figure it out. And all the gun control in the world, in one of the strongest gun control cities, in one of the strongest gun control states, didn't do anything. And that's what I've got for you guys. What do you think of the new term, the highly coveted semi-automatic assault pistol? Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.